My name is Angela. I'm a 33-year-old housewife. It's been a year since we got married, but we still don't have any children. My husband, Cecil, loves kids and was eager to start a family ever since we got married, often saying, "Let's have a child soon." However, we've been waiting for the stork to come. Running out of patience, Cecil suggested, "Why don't you see a doctor?" I went to an obstetrician and gynecologist. After many tests, the doctor told me there's nothing wrong. Just when I was feeling relieved, Cecil suddenly declared, "I'm sorry. I want a divorce." Why? There's nothing wrong with my body. I really want a child soon. I can't bear the uncertainty of when or if we'll have one if we continue like this. I was speechless. It's only been a year since we got married. It's proven that I can conceive. Can't you wait a little longer, Chatty? I could clariax. But Angela, you're already 33. You'll become an old woman while we wait. Maybe you're already old. I want our child to have a young and beautiful mother. What does give them mean? Attorney, does he think of his wife as some kind of object? It felt like a knife piercing deep into my heart. But I love Cecil. I desperately tried to persuade him not to go through with the divorce. However, I couldn't change Cecil's mind, and we parted ways after just a year. I was so devastated that I couldn't think straight, but as time went on, I began to understand Cecil's true nature. He didn't love me as much as I thought. Maybe he only saw me as a tool to have a child. This belief turned into a certainty 2 years later. I heard from my friend Alma that Cecil was having a shotgun wedding with his new girlfriend. Alma has been my best friend since our school days, and by coincidence, she worked at the same company as Cecil. So, she's a mutual friend of both Cecil and me. But with her straightforward personality, she's popular among both men and women. And lying on that, it seems Cecil consults her about everything. It seems he had an affair with his current wife, Angela, even when they were married. What? You mean he was cheating on me? That's right. He blamed you for not being able to have children, while he sneakily spent time with another woman. Thelma placed her coffee cup down abruptly and stared at me. I'll mourn over a guy like that. Angela, find someone new. And encouraged by her words, I finally found closure. A year later, I was set to remarry. After my divorce, I had been working part-time at a call center. That's where I met Felix, who was 2 years older than me, and we started dating. About 6 months into our relationship, he proposed. I'm so happy, but you don't think I'm good enough? It's not that. I might have difficulty getting pregnant. What do you mean? When I elaborated on the circumstances surrounding my divorce with my ex-husband, Felix laughed it off, saying, "Oh, is that all? The doctor told you there's no problem with you." Angela, Kate, besides, conceiving is a challenge that a couple should face and work on together. Stop thinking as if it's solely your responsibility. Upon hearing that, tears involuntarily spilled from my eyes. Even if, and it's a big if, we can't have children, We'll just walk through life together, just the two of us. I'll never forget the warmth of Felix, who hugged me as he said this. After remarrying, I was truly happy. Felix was good at household chores, handling everything on his own. Because I lived alone for a long time. But thanks to that, I was able to meet you. Angela, I'm grateful to God, he'd say, his face blushing with a shy smile. It was so endearing. He was also a great cook, often preparing genuine Italian dishes for me. Cecil wouldn't even take out the trash, and I had assumed that's just how men were. Everything with Felix was a pleasant surprise. I must have truly felt fulfilled. Then, half a year after our marriage, I discovered that I was pregnant. During my regular gynecological checkup, I was congratulated with the words, "Congratulations," still in disbelief. I went home and waited to break the news to Felix when he returned from work. Really? That's awesome. Suddenly, he picked me up by the waist, catching me off guard. Hey, stop it. Felix. Sorry. The baby must have been startled. Rushing to put me down, he gently stroked my stomach. I'm glad you're happy. Of course. It's our child. Seeing Felix's eyes turn bright red, I felt like crying too. It's thanks to you, Felix. Being with you, I felt such peace in my heart. That's why I think I was able to get pregnant. Take care of yourself, okay? Absolutely no overdoing it. Yeah, I understand. The next 10 months felt like a dream. I barely experienced any morning sickness, and once I entered the stable period, it was so much fun to go shopping with Felix and pick out various baby items. As the due date approached, just a week away, my smartphone rang. It was from Cecil. Hesitated for a moment, but then pressed the call button. Hello. Oh, Angela. It's me. Yeah, it's been a while. You know, I heard from Alma that you're pregnant. Is it true? Why? I always thought you couldn't get pregnant. At this point, I was speechless. Maybe I should have been patient a bit longer. Cecil joked in very poor taste. I don't need your patience, thank you. By the way, are things going well with your new wife? What? What are you talking about? He feigned ignorance. Well, either way, it's no longer any of my business. Goodbye. I hung up, my voice sharp as a knife. I wondered about the purpose of his call as I told Felix about it when he came home from work. We didn't divorce out of hatred, but with his current wife. Maybe he wanted someone to vent to. It didn't seem like that. He even said something as rude as maybe I should have been patient a bit longer. Maybe he wanted to celebrate your pregnancy. There's no way. Honestly, Felix, you're too kind-hearted. Felix, laughing gently, is truly a kind soul. Just having him in front of me made being angry feel foolish, and the conversation shifted to our baby. The baby is a girl. The doctor told us during the last checkup. That day, we discussed potential names for her again. Felix's eyes sparkled with joy. I can't wait to meet her. It will be soon. Exactly a week later, our baby was born. We named her Hilda. Felix, holding Hilda, tearfully repeated, "Thank you. Thank you" to me over and over again. After being discharged from the hospital, I faced the challenges of childcare every day. Of course, Felix helps out, but both of us are inexperienced, leading to a series of mistakes. It'd be great to have reliable grandparents to help out during times like this. We can't help it. Both of our families live far away. You know, Angela, you could have gone back to your parents for some time. It's okay. But no matter how hard it gets, I want to be here with you and Hilda. But though many sleepless nights from Hilda's crying left us exhausted, just looking at her face healed our weariness. After 3 months, when we started to give Hilda half formula and half breast milk, we finally began to sleep peacefully. One day, Elma came over with a gift to celebrate Hilda's birth. Well, she's adorable. Looking at Hilda sleeping in her crib, whilst Elma squealed softly, "Congratulations. Angela, thank you. I'm so glad you came. I intended to come sooner, sorry about that." "Don't be. I know you're busy with work, and I'm just grateful you could make time for us." I served the cake and coffee that Elma had brought as gifts, and we sat facing each other. "You know you're so happy now, Angela, and I hesitated to bring this up, but can you listen?" "What is it? Why so formal?" "Yeah, it's about Cecil. You know he and his current wife had a child soon after they got married, right? Because of that, he seemed to think that the infertility issue back then was certainly because of you." "Angela, I figured as much. But after he found out you were pregnant, he seemed to reconsider. He began wondering if there was something wrong with his own body. It wasn't so much the better late than never sentiment I felt, but rather genuine curiosity about Cecil's health." "But Cecil had a child, right? So what's the issue? That man is such a fool. He's been blaming his wife, saying things like, 'The child isn't mine. Whose seed did you take in?'" Elma looked absolutely flabbergasted. "What the heck? Isn't that a bit of a stretch?" That when she consulted me, I thought he was a real idiot. So Cecil himself was seriously troubled by this? Seems like it. Still, Elma seemed to have consoled Cecile. And guess what he said next? Her promiscuous nature hasn't changed. I can't trust anyone, from the guy who's saying it that's rich. Putting aside his own issues, it's astonishing how he can so blatantly accuse others. Both Elma and I were utterly astounded. His wife was furious. They had a massive argument, and she returned to her parents' home. That's to be expected. He came to me crying, "What should I do?" But I just yelled back at him, like I'd know or care. I couldn't help but laugh, imagining how Cecil must have looked when Elma shouted at him. Anyway, there's turmoil in Cecil's household, so I'm worried he might say something unnecessary to you. Inshallah, I'll be fine. I'm sure. He's no longer any concern of mine. I know. But he's not thinking straight right now. Looking at Elma, who genuinely seemed concerned, I realized how kind-hearted she was. I'll block Cecil's calls. That's a good idea. I'll also make sure to sternly warn him not to contact you. Just then, we heard the cry of Hilda as she woke up from her nap. I got up and picked Hilda up. "Can I hold her too?" Elma asked, holding out her arms. As we both comforted Hilda, the thoughts of Cecil completely faded from my mind. For a month passed, and I was engrossed in my busy day-to-day childcare. There was no contact from Cecil. However, suddenly, Cecil's wife came over with their child. She said she got our address from her mother-in-law. I had informed the in-laws of our whereabouts just in case. Rachel, as Cecil's wife introduced herself, seemed to be in her 20s, and she was a lovely person with striking big eyes. Her son, who was almost 2 years old, looked just like Rachel. We sat facing each other on the sofa. Pum was intently playing with my daughter, who was lying down. "I'm sorry for the sudden visit. I really wanted to apologize to you." "Angela," Rachel started. "Apologize?" "Yes. I was dating Cecil without knowing he was already married. I truly regret that things turned out this way." I was honestly taken aback when she bowed her head in apology. To be apologized to at this point was unsettling. "You came all the way here just to say that?" "Well, we've decided to divorce," Rachel admitted. "What? With Cecil?" "Yes. It has nothing to do with you, Angela, but I really wanted to talk, so I came here." Rachel began to speak as if a dam had burst. Her story was full of shocks. He constantly accused me, saying that the child wasn't his. So, I decided I'll show you the proof and had a DNA test done to confirm Cecil was indeed the father. So, wasn't the problem resolved then? Actually, it wasn't. Even though he kept saying things like "you're still tainted and I only married you because you can have kids," the moment the DNA test confirmed it, he changed his tune to "oh, what a relief. Now we can happily have a second child." Can you believe that? Rachel's anger was palpable. It's true, I might have been the other woman, but Cecil was the one who deceived me. Rachel slammed the table hard. "Hey, calm down. The children will get scared." "I'm sorry." Regaining her composure. "So you decided on the divorce." He sees his wife merely as a tool to have children. It doesn't matter to him who the other person is. I could relate to that feeling all too well. After all, I had felt the same way. If you were to ask if I resented the Rachel in front of me, perhaps I might. However, the child is undoubtedly innocent. Watching the children playing happily, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pity. Fortunately, Cecil's parents have taken my side. They are so fed up with his foolishness that they banned him from coming to their house. His parents are good people, aren't they? Exactly. With such wonderful parents, how could they produce such a scumbag? We looked at each other and burst out laughing. Cecil's been whining about wanting custody, but of course, I won't hand it over. If he causes any more trouble, my in-laws have told me they'll hire a lawyer. So, Rachel, what are you planning to do next? I'm going back to my parents' home and will look for a job. Hang in there. I thought you, Angela, would understand how I feel, which is why I came. And I was worried that idiot might pick a fight with you over something. Please be careful. In this strange bonding moment, I had lost any desire to blame Rachel. We both have terrible judgment when it comes to men, huh? Not at all. Angela, you found yourself a wonderful husband now. You still have a bright future ahead of you. Rachel, that with a broad smile on her face. Rachel left. Well, we might never see each other again. I genuinely wished her happiness. It was a month later that I heard from Elma that Cecil and Rachel's divorce had been finalized. However, I heard that Cecil still tells people around him that I was the cause of their divorce. What a spineless man. He's still going on about how there wouldn't have been any issues if you had gotten pregnant quickly. Emma raged on the other end of the call. I got so angry that I gave him a piece of my mind in front of everyone. What did you do? I decided to transfer him to a subsidiary company. Elma was Cecil's superior. She was highly competent and had risen to the rank of department head in Cecil's division. Isn't that an abuse of power? A woman's enemy is the enemy of society. While hearing Elma laugh over the phone, I murmured, poor suckle. There's nothing wrong with wanting children. However, men who view women merely as tools for reproduction don't deserve to navigate the modern world. Receiving severe reprimands from both his wife and boss, pitiful Cecil still seems to hold on to his misogynistic views. The citations with news rumors have it that even in his new post, he's overstepped boundaries with women and faced consequences. Some people never learn. Maybe it's time for the Lord of Hell to give him a lesson he won't forget. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. If you resonated with the content, please leave a positive rating and a comment.